Are you going to speak?
Are you going to speak?
I always wait for you because I feel like you're going to interrupt me.
Well, because this is like on like a major delay. Hold on a second. I don't know how long it takes for it to actually pop up because we usually have 2 screens. So we're coming to you guys from Phoenix. Well, technically, are we in Gilbert? Queens Creek. They're all the same. They all run in together. Anyway, so it's a little bit wonky because
I hear Miss Teresa.
Very rude. The box office is closed.
The light has already been flickered. You are late.
We just went live.
You guys have any lights on in here?
Because we need our faces lit up. Would you like to come?
Would you like to come and say hello to the live audience?
We have a live studio audience of 1. It's Teresa. Anyway.
Fair warning, I'm grumpy today. So.
She's grumpy. It's okay.
Uh-oh.
It's all right.
I have no idea why I just am.
Anyway, so Teresa's grumpy. We got her place set up like a frat house. I had to put a sheet over this one part of the windows because it's so bright the way it reflects on the screen. So behind us. Anyway, no, we need that.
But like not closer?
No, it's too bright.
Okay.
So here we are.
So welcome to the show, everybody. Okay, so yeah, so things are a little bit weird because we usually have. What are you doing?
I'm
gonna get it to you right now. Right now.
Okay.
Look, there you go. Now
oh, good. Okay. So we can't see the chat the whole time that we're talking because we're only working with 1 screen this time. So sorry, guys, if we missed some questions, definitely repeat them.
Mm-hmm.
I hope you guys are all doing well. I know I see some of our friends in the chat that are in the Pacific Northwest and dealing with a lot of the smoke from the fires and residual stuff from the fire. So I hope everybody's staying safe. I know Katy's family has been evacuated. They were allowed to come back home, but they were evacuated temporarily. Mm-hmm. Her family's in Oregon.
My parents hightailed it on. Actually, I don't think that their areas ever technically were mandatory evacuation. They were like within less than 10 miles from where it was mandatory evacuation. They were like at level 2, which is the like get ready at any moment you might have to leave. But literally within like 8 miles of my parents' house was where it's been pretty decimated. And there were 3 massive, like mega wildfires that are all kind of converging together. And it's pretty terrible. A lot of people have lost their homes. They have no idea how many. I know my brother-in-law, his, my sister Vikki that you guys know, my brother-in-law, Will, he works at a lumber mill that's in Mill City, which is one of the very small, it's not really a city, it's a very small town. It's one of the little towns that I don't even know how many of the houses there burned down, but I know several of his coworkers lost their homes, and he's been out there on fire watch, making sure that everything's okay and they don't, and they stop any small fires that are coming near because they want to try and save. I mean, it's a family-owned local business, and so it's all very scary, very, very scary. But my family's safe. We have a friend that is one of our stranger friends that watches us, our friend Heather, who lives in Oregon, whose sister has lost her home, everything she owns, including her animals, and pretty much has the clothes on her back. So this is touching people that we know. It's not just an obscure number of people that you're reading about on the news. Well, a friend of mine who used to be, she was my boss when I used to work in the theater at Enchanted Forest. And her nephew is actually the one who has been like the main story coming out of the Oregon fires. His 13-year-old son and his mother-in-law both passed away in the fire. With the dog, and his wife is currently in critical condition. She survived, but that's like the major story. But so it's just been really, really awful, pretty close to home for me. But anyway, my family's safe. I hope any of you guys that are out there, you're staying safe and you have a place to go. I know there were quite a few people that are in the selling community have had to relocate temporarily, and hopefully everybody's safe and doing okay. Mm-hmm. Anyway.
I know, sorry to start the show off so serious, but I feel like if not acknowledging things that are happening in the world is even worse than having to take the time and talk about it. So
well, and I was going to say, I'm sorry if I'm a little bit distracted right now, so I don't know if you said anything about. I know you were talking about a friend of ours whose friend has lost everything.
Her sister.
Yes, her sister's lost everything. that puts us in a unique position where when we hear about these things, there are a lot of people who've lost everything. And it's a great opportunity for us as resellers who have ridiculous amounts of clothing in our inventory. So there are ways that we can help. If you hear about somebody, and a lot of people with what happened in Oregon, there were a couple of main areas where they didn't even have warning because there were such heavy winds that it just happened like this. It was like they thought they were going to have a couple of days, and they were woken up in the middle of the night and literally had to leave immediately and only have the clothes on their back. So there are ways you guys can help if you pay attention and hear about somebody. There's a good chance you might have their sizes, some clothing you can send somebody.
It's true. I'm putting together a few boxes this week for my friend Heather's sister. So we'll see.
Yeah.
That's the one thing about us with death piles or without death piles or old inventory, stale inventory. One thing us as resellers have is we have a lot of crap, right? And a lot, very often it's crap that we have very little money invested in. So sometimes it's good to pay it forward a little bit if you can. So
absolutely. It's just crazy, scary and crazy.
So Liz perfectly in the house.
What?
Hello, ladies.
Yeah, for sure. What's happening, everybody? So we are in Queens Creek. Is that where we are? I have to think about it. Queen Creek.
No S.
It's all confusing because then like 5 minutes from here this is Teresa's Airbnb and where she does her business out of. And then her mother's house is literally like 5 minutes away, but that's in Gilbert.
It's 2 miles away and it's in Gilbert.
Yeah.
Howard Road is the dividing line.
So, and then we're right outside of Phoenix. So, but we just say we're in Phoenix because that's what everybody knows. It's kind of like how we live in Vegas, but we actually live in Henderson.
Yeah.
So we're here on our one little computer. So it's going to be a little wonky when we go to like share the screen and stuff like that. I almost was like, let's just not even do our numbers or share our souls. But we were like, no, we've got good numbers this week. Well, this
can't give a half-assed show.
That's not, well, let's just be clear here, guys. Last time we were away, we did this and we just didn't show our numbers. She was really sad because she really it was like one of her best weeks ever. But we both had pretty good weeks. And so I went ahead, and even though it was a little harder to pull together, I did get our numbers put together using Teresa's awesome, newly updated spreadsheet, which she did share. It's in the files in the boss group. So if you see our spreadsheet, which I will be showing you here in a minute, and you like the way it looks and you want to use it yourself, we don't use it for accounting purposes, but it's great to kind of break down.
It's great to give you an overall view of what your week looks like.
Yeah, or you could like plug in your numbers for the month and see how it looks. Whatever you want to do with it. It's just kind of a nice way to look and see how everything breaks down. So yeah, I see people in the chat. We've
got Teresa in the background. Marge is in after the show starts. She's got the microwave going in the background.
Watch it. She's grumpy today. We gotta let her do what she wants.
Angry.
She's angry.
And my food was in the refrigerator and then rushed.
She's driving me crazy. It's like mom came in and interrupted our podcast.
So rude.
I tried to get here on time.
No. Anyway, we'll commiserate after the show because we're going on a little mini road trip together. So, all right, real quick before I get to the numbers, Noelle, hey. 2020 super chat. Every time she does this, I really think she's trying to reclaim the number 2020 and
she's trying to make it a positive for sure.
She says fires surrounding me, but safe. She's up in Washington, just above Oregon, like right above the border, but safe. I have lots. I can help people with my area. DM me if you need stuff. Love you, Katy and Vikki. The fear is real. Yeah. Noelle, as a fellow burn survivor, I'm sure this is somewhat triggering to have all this stuff happening. I know for Vikki, it definitely is. But yes, Noelle is happy to help out if anybody knows of anybody that has any needs. And yes, I do have a fresh fade.
And I have fresh color. So yeah, we're having good.
Don't steal. They're always telling you how good your hair looks. Give me more than 7 seconds to talk about my fresh fade before you steal from me, pink hair lady.
It's my ear.
Yeah, you deserve it.
You just went up like 17 octaves.
Because I'm trying to enjoy the flattery I'm getting right now.
My goodness.
And every week they talk about how amazing your hair looks, and I finally get the little recognition.
Okay, Siri, take it down a notch. It's my ear. It's my ear. Oh, my goodness.
Have some chocolate.
We do have some chocolate here. All right, let's get into the numbers, guys. Now, because I only have one screen to work with here, there's going to be a second where the screen's going to go all crazy until I flip over to where I need to be. So just bear with us. We're going to time travel through an endless portal Here we go. Whoa. Whoa. I think it's sharing right now. Is it?
No, not yet.
Wait, oh, here we go. Now, whoa. Whoa. There we go. Real quick, here we go. And I'll start with mine. Let me make it big. And then maybe it's a little too big.
That's all right. You can scroll down as you're talking.
I just need to make it fill the screen. Hide that. Okay. So here we go. Sorry guys. Like I said, it's a little bit wonky, but so this is the amazing spreadsheet that Teresa upgraded for us recently to fulfill our needs. Here, you can go ahead and look at that. And so you can see how it breaks down. So this is our week ending yesterday.
We can't read it.
Well, what are you talking about?
It's too small.
You're too small. Anyway, I'm gonna read it to you right now.
It's the same size it always is.
Why is this not? Hold on, guys.
Can't see it.
Hold on. Anyway, there you go. Look at it like that. I'm going to talk you guys through it. You're just going to have to handle it. Put it up on the big screen. So we have 28 eBay orders. I had 9 Etsy orders, 5 Instagram orders, guys. And what are you doing? You don't want to look at the chat?
It's like 5 to 10 minutes behind. Just keep going.
Okay. Sorry, guys. 5 Instagram orders, 4 Grail to Mercari orders for a total of 46 outgoing orders. eBay gross sales, $1,762.34. Still didn't hit 2,000, but that's okay. I made up for it on my other platforms. So Etsy, $591.61. Instagram, my total is $445. Grail and Mercari together, $354 for total gross sales of $3,152.95. If you're having a hard time seeing the chart, you can go ahead and go full screen with your video. You won't be able to see the chat.
Off the side?
Oh, that's probably why. Hold on.
Yeah, I tried to tell you that, but
You just kept saying it was too small. Hold on. We got to go into the vortex again, guys. Apologize. Hold on. Here we go.
I know we get produced to show up. Jeez.
Anyway, guys. So yeah, so total gross sales, $3,152.95. You can see my shipping there, about $172. And then you can see the fees. And Teresa actually put in like percentages and made it all fancy for us. We got our eBay fees, Etsy fees, Grilled and Mercari together because they're pretty close to being similar. And you'll notice there's no fees for Instagram. So hallelujah, hallelujah. No fees for Instagram, which is pretty awesome. No platform fees. So my total cost there, $480. My cost of goods, $715. Of course, they are pretty high with the stuff that I buy. My net total sales, $1,957.48. So almost 2,000, but not quite. My gross average sale price, $68.54. So that's pretty good. I really want to push up above 70. My net average sale price after all my costs, $42.55. So, all right, let's go ahead and look at Vikki's. So yeah, I'm actually pretty happy with it. Like 2,000 net is not too bad. Let me zoom this out a little bit here so that you can look at everything. All right, what you got going on, Vikki?
So I had 51 orders on eBay, 3 on Etsy, 5 on Posh, 4 on Mercari. That was a total of 63 outgoing orders. I did $35.01 and 40 cents on eBay, $297.78 on Etsy, $339 on Poshmark, and Mercari $145. For my week was a total of $4,283.18. Shipping was $395. I did have quite a few international sales this week, probably at least 10 international sales across all the platforms. eBay fees of $417.96, Etsy fees $25.31, Poshmark fees $67.80, Mercari fees $20.05, total fees across all the platforms $926.12. My cost of goods much lower than Katy's as usual because I'm cheap. So $313 cost of goods. So my total net sales $3,044.06. My gross average sale price is very good.
Very good.
Just about $68. Yes, I rounded up that penny. Bite me. And my net average sale price over $48 this week. So that was a good week for me. It's been a little slow since mid-July. So this is represents a solid solid week. I'm happy with this week.
Yeah, very good. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and close that. Close all tabs. Whoa.
Does it go back to
this? So there we go.
There we are again.
So real quick, we got a couple of super chats going on here. Ro Triolo, is that correct? Ro Triolo. I'm sorry, I'm butchering your name right now. $4.99 super chat says, I finally got to watch Sunday's show live. Usually I listen to it on my commute home from work. They get to listen to our soothing voices.
Oh, I hope you never get into a car accident because Katy's screeching in your ear. It's much safer to watch us when you're not operating heavy machinery.
Thank you, Ro. And then also Mr. Buys a Lot, $5 super chat says, support to the clothing queens. Love your channel and all the cool stuff. You girls are amazing. I figured I think he probably sings it when he says that. You girls are amazing. So for both of you guys with the super chats, Mr. Buys a Lot and Ro, I'm going to do a little super chat. The super chat.
Oh my goodness. You're nuts.
All right, guys.
So yeah, Lou, we do see not Lou, what's his name? Luke, thank you. I knew I said that wrong. We do see the messages. Yep, we're trying to get through the show itself, so we can't address every message in the chat. But we do see the messages. I saw you picked up some good vintage here. We'll show you some that we've picked up.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go ahead and go back to sharing the screen. We're gonna we just want to get rid of the screen sharing stuff.
I just want to answer that one question. Rachel, if you've asked to join the boss group but haven't been accepted yet, we accept members within moments. So
it might be that you have like your account locked down, so it looks like maybe you have no friends and
we do try to screen the entries into the group just a little bit to make sure it's not like a fake account or a spam account, or if it has just your business name and not your real name, we might not have accepted you. But go ahead and ask to join the group again. And Teresa is actually on her computer, and if she sees your request come through, she'll pop you into the group.
You just assigned her a task.
I did. She's sitting there with her laptop. She can handle it.
I'm dealing with the toilet paper issue.
Oh. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and go back to the screen share. Whoa, and there you go. What do you got? These are our sales highlights for the week, guys.
Sales highlights for the week. So I actually just showed this a couple of weeks ago. I picked this up at an estate sale. I think I paid $2, $4, something like that. It was under $5. I had it listed for about 2 days. And it was purchased by a buyer that has bought from me before, actually. She messaged me and made me an offer. And I took an offer for $75. It's not framed. It's going to be very easy to ship. It is attached to a cardboard backing, so it is going to ship flat. So it does cost a little bit to ship, but it's not going to be super expensive because I took it out of the frame. It was framed in glass and in a really ugly.
Hold on a second. Can you go back? You did what? You did what?
You took it out of the frame. Jesus, Mary and Joseph. I can't speak a sentence without being interrupted. Trust me.
Well, maybe if you weren't so full of lies, it would
Start with.
Go ahead.
I may stab her before the show is over, so it's a good thing we don't have 2 screens going right now. There will be no witnesses because I can take care of Teresa. She's slow. So I had about $4 to $5 invested in this. I took an offer for $75. Buyer's super happy to get it. I thought it was really cute. It was dated on the back of it, 1964. Made for her mother. Fran made for her mother, Christmas 1964. I thought that was cute. And some really bright colors for a mid-century room.
Yeah, super cute. I like it. All right. First up for me is this awesome Cuffs t-shirt from the 1992 action comedy movie featuring Christian Slater. So I got this in the big lot of items that I purchased from my super top secret seller, where I got a bunch of movie promos, and this was one of them. I probably paid, when I average everything out across all the buys I did, I probably paid an average of $28 to $30 per item. And so I had this one priced at $139.99 after it went on sale, which was pretty much almost immediately. And then within a few days, I had a few different people make offers and stuff, and somebody came and offered $120, and I was happy with that. So I accepted $120 on this t-shirt, paid $30 for it. It's just a really cool movie promo. Nice big picture on the front on the back it says, "When you have attitude, who needs experience?" I think I showed this last week. I might have.
Yeah, it was either last week or the week before you showed it. It wasn't listed long.
But just a really cool, movie promos are super hot right now.
Some old school Christian Slater when he was really cool and doing very cool movies.
Yeah. When they have like a nice big graphic on the front, they're especially going to be desirable. And this is just a really cool t-shirt. So
did you say what you paid for it already?
I paid, an average of $28 to $30 per item. So I'd say $30, sold it for $120, had it listed for maybe a few days. All right, next one for you.
This is another one that sold super fast for me. I listed it and then it rolled into a sale that I had started on eBay that same day. I paid $1 for this when we were in Utah sourcing last month. And I had it listed for maybe 2 or 3 days. It sold for $65.66, the price that you see there, plus shipping to Canada. And it's pretty light. It's big, but it's very light and easy to ship. So I was pretty happy. $1 into $65 is pretty good.
Not too shabby, especially when they sell really quick. Because, a lot of times with the stuff that we sell, it's not always going to be quick flips.
Yeah, I sell a lot of long tail stuff. So it's nice when you get a quick flip.
Yep.
I have a few of them this week, actually.
Yeah. All right, next up for me is this awesome, at least I think so, this awesome IBM computing t-shirt. So on the front of it, it looks like it says Surf's Up, but it actually says like CRRF's Up, which I'm sure is some sort of computer nerd lingo. But this is just like a super worn out t-shirt. It's got like this awesome desktop computer surfing the waves. And
so cheesy.
It's super faded. You can see it's got like,
That's a nerd shirt.
Yep. It's got like some bleach spots, got a little hole there. And then on the back of it, it says Citibank IBM Conversion Team, April 1988. I love this kind of stuff. I love vintage tech stuff. And so this was one of the things I picked up when I went to Torgum. And I wanted to say, so I took an offer on this for $55. So when I went to Torgum, I think I got probably around 80 to 85 pieces because I spent $890. Most of what I got was t-shirts and I paid $10 a piece. So almost everything I paid $10 a piece for. So I probably got about 85 pieces. I spent $890. I have sold 8 items so far. I still have a bunch of it that I'm still in the process of listing. So I haven't even listed all of it. I've sold 8 items, including this t-shirt, for a total of $550. So I would say I'm probably about a week or so from breaking even on that trip and still having over 75 items that haven't sold yet. So pretty good deal. I'm excited. Definitely looking forward to going back towards the beginning of October. But I've sold this for $55.
I like Jacob's comments make me laugh every time. Nobody makes a 27-year-old receding hairline as sexy as Christian Slater. It kills me. Jacob, you kill me, honestly.
He's like the younger Jack Nicholson. He's got that same kind of look.
Oh, he's got the same voice and the eyes. Yeah.
All right. Next up for you.
So this is actually 2 items I'm going to show. As a matter of fact, I showed these in my haul video from the last time we were here in Phoenix. I picked these up in Phoenix last time at a Salvation Army. I remember them distinctly because I had never heard about this brand, and I actually showed them on our haul video that we did in the same location back in May. We came the end of May was the last time we were here. And I paid $6.99 a piece for them just because I thought they looked like they were well made. And then I researched them when I got out and I was like, oh yeah, they sell pretty well. So $6.99 each. And they both sold the same day this weekend for the same price to suit 2 separate people on a best offer. They sold for $75 each. So this one sold for $75, the blue one. And then this one here is like a grayish green. And that one sold for $75 as well. Both best offer, 2 different people, 2 different states. I paid $6.99 a piece, and I purchased them when I was here back in May. So I thought that was pretty funny.
It's like a sign of something.
I don't know what it's a sign of,
awesome.
but
okay. So this is again from that same lot I've done like 4 separate buys from this particular seller, my super top secret seller. I've received like 4 different packages from him. Total, I've paid per piece close to $30 per piece, $28 to $30. One of the first boxes I got had a Total Recall t-shirt in it, but it was like in much newer condition than this one. It was from the same time, but it was like much deeper black coloring. And then he was like, hey, I've got another one of those Total Recalls, but it's really faded. And I'm like, yeah, I want that one too. So he sent this one to me. And so I have them both listed same price, because there's different people that like different, some people like their stuff to be newer looking, and some people like it when it's faded. Well, this one sold first. And again, I took an offer for, same as the other one, $120. So again, about $30 in, sold it for $120. And this one was probably listed less than a week.
And that's the faded one?
This is the faded one. So I have another one that's identical, only it's a much darker, richer black. So it's in newer, like it has a
interesting.
But whoever it was, this is the one they won. They paid $120 for it. 1990 Arnold Schwarzenegger movie. I love it. It's an awesome movie. Anyway, good sale.
Pretty good.
Pretty good. Next one for you.
So this, I think I had this listed for, I can't even tell you how long, probably about a year. And we do talk about this a lot, or at least I talk about this a lot. A lot of what I sell is vintage, and a lot of vintage is long tail. It just is. I don't have a lot of money invested in it because I don't pay up like Katy does for my vintage. So I want to say at most, I probably had $5 to $8 invested in this. I knew what it was, and I knew it would sell eventually to the right person. And it did. It took a little while to sell. These are very, very thin, hand-carved, hand-turned wine goblets that are made out of wood, which is not something you see a lot of.
Mm-hmm.
And they're not thick and heavy. They're actually very, very thin, and they would probably crack if you hit them too hard. They're very thin and very nicely made. Now, I couldn't tell if it was something that had been used before or if it's something that most people would use for display, but it's not something you see frequently anyway. I do think there's probably one missing. I think there should probably have been 6, because you can see if you look at the photos that they don't, it doesn't go all the way around.
Yeah.
But it sold anyway. So it sold for the price you see there, $94.86. Buyer paid for shipping, and they're very light because they're very lightweight. So I thought they were pretty cool.
I think they would be perfect if you practice any kind of dark magic. You want to have some sort of blood pact, something,
So
some
you
sort
can
of
like
offering.
You can like
It just
spin
seems like
the blood goblet.
It just looks like it'd be really good in a ritual. Maybe you could even like restain them a darker color or something like that. I just feel like they look like they could be used for some sort of ritual.
they would look. They're going to look fantastic on someone's mid-century modern Danish furniture, especially like a bar set or something like that. I think they're really cool.
Sandra's grandma may have belonged to some sort of coven.
Is that what we think?
Well, that's what I think. It's clear.
You could summon a demon with these, right?
It's clear to me. Anyway, okay. So next up is this. I sold a number of things on Etsy. I'm only showing, I tried to like have us just show a few less things because I don't want to be sharing the screen for too long because it's just a little wonky with this. So I just picked one thing that I sold on Etsy. I think I sold like 9 things on Etsy this last week. But this El Cortez hotel and casino sweater, because who wouldn't want this in a sweater, guys? I actually bought 2 of these. I think one was a large. This one was an XL. I've already sold the large a while ago. I bought these at the end of 2019 from Yesterday's Fits when they were moving. And I remember I didn't buy them the first time we were there, but I was thinking about them and just thinking it's one of those things where you don't buy something and then you're like, man, I should have grabbed those. But I was just thinking, like, am I going to be able to sell these? And so I went ahead and bought them. I think those ones were $15 a piece. I bought both of them. One of them sold within like a month or something like that for like $100. And this one just sold yesterday on Etsy for 10% off. So it was $89.99. I'm not even going to do the flipper thing. Anybody can go look this up if they want, but $89.99 plus shipping because it is going to, I believe, Russia. So yeah, some dude in Russia wants himself an El Cortez hotel and casino sweater, vintage sweater. I think it's pretty awesome, but it is a bit ridiculous. Let's be honest here.
It is a bit ridiculous.
It is, but come on.
And the thing about it is that that kind of scratchy, uncomfortable acrylic.
Mm-hmm.
That's the thing. It's like, it's not even a soft item. It's like, owie.
Yeah.
Not comfy.
Yeah.
I don't know what the hell Teresa's doing in the background.
I don't know.
Now she's playing with tape.
She's getting stuff done. All right.
Hanging stuff around. We're not doing a live show or anything, Teresa.
It's okay. She shut the door. It just doesn't have a wall on top. All right, go ahead.
Goodness.
Go ahead.
So I showed this in a haul video 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I remember talking about it in the video that I had paid $4 or $5 for this at Savers. I picked it up, and because it was Danbury Mint, I picked it up anyway. And immediately thinking I'm probably going to get 40 or 50 bucks for it. It was cute. It was Danbury Mint. I didn't do any comps on it. I just knew it was worth $4 or $5, right? Especially Christmas. I knew I'd flip it, especially to dog lovers, all that kind of stuff. I got home and I comped it and I saw that there were none available. And the most recent one had sold for $500.
What?
So I was like, no way. But I had to go and check. I double checked to make sure that it actually sold for that. It wasn't best offer. And I was like, it wasn't some crazy number, because that to me was unfathomable. I listed this Monday night or Monday late afternoon. Tuesday morning, I had an offer for $650, and I couldn't say yes fast enough.
You get one a counter with like $725.
Yeah, no. $650 in about 12 hours, and the buyer was absolutely thrilled to find it. Messaged me 800 times at least. And yeah, $650. And of course, I didn't do signature delivery or anything like that, but I did insure it. I insured it for the full amount because it is a breakable item. And with my luck and the way that the post office and FedEx has been lately, someone would have hockey pucked it across a room and shattered it into 1,000 pieces. Crazy. So yeah, it was delivered in one piece. Customer's happy. I'm happy. $5 into $650 on an ugly, cheap, mass-produced little figurine.
Crazy, man.
Go figure.
Crazy, man. All right, I'm going to go ahead and do Mercari. Look at this. I was able to get my Mercari sale on there. You just need to send me your link, because instead of doing the tiny pictures.
Apparently, that's what I have to do.
Anyway, remember this sweatshirt, guys? This Universal Pictures sweatshirt. This is the one that was like the Universal Pictures class of 1989 marketing department. And it's just I'm sure it was probably just white to begin with, and somebody tie-dyed it. And then the back of it has like all the movies that came out in that year, but it's pretty cool because it's got Do the Right Thing. It's got The Dream Team, The Burbs, Born on the 4th of July, Field of Dreams, Back to the Future 2, Uncle Buck, Wizard. I mean, it's got so many, Shocker. It's got so many great movies on it that came out that year, all out of Universal Pictures. And so I paid like $50 for this. I bought it from Jesse at Yesterday's Fits. I had it priced super high because this was one of those things where it's like, you're not going to find comps for this. The likelihood that, this is clearly just literally for the marketing department of Universal Pictures.
Right.
So you're not going to find comps for something like this. So that's where I'm like,
that's where the instinct, that's where instinct comes into play. And a lot of stuff with vintage is instinct.
Exactly. And so so I just priced it high to see what would happen. And of course, it didn't sell for the $350, but somebody offered $169. It had come down to like, I think $200. And I was like, yeah, I'll take $169. So I was pretty happy. I paid $50, got $169 for it. So
that's very,
very cool.
So this is my last item that I'm going to show. I had some really good highlights this week, but again, like Katie said, when we don't have 2 screens to work with, this is a difficult process. So I limited it to 6 or 7 items this week. So sorry, guys. But this was something I had picked up at an estate sale. I believe I paid $2 at an estate sale for this. I've had it listed for probably about a year. Mm-hmm. And as you can see, it's not in perfect condition. It was pretty easily, the box has some wear, all that kind of stuff. But I knew that this is, this is an total Etsy item. And it sold for, all right, let me see. I got a special song just for showing you.
I'm trying to ship over here.
It's the Flipper Tools Scat. There you go.
Oh, it sold for $109.95. I paid $2 for it.
Nice.
So
that's ridiculous.
I was pretty happy.
I don't know. I kind of feel like Teresa's taping and shipping in the background brings authenticity. Brings authenticity to our show. If
I throw something at you, Teresa, don't be surprised.
All right, last one, and then we can get off the screen share here. I have this Offspring t-shirt, Americana. This is another one I got from the guy, my top secret seller. I mostly bought movie promos from him, but he did have this t-shirt all worn and faded, and it's like seriously faded. And I put it up on the old Instagram.
Is this the one that had the crusty armpits?
Yeah, it's like got bleach marks on it. It's got it's all
That's
discolored
gross.
under the arms, but I washed it. I mean, it's clean. It just looks like that. And if it didn't have all of these flaws, I probably could have sold it for $250. But because of the issues, I went ahead and did $130. And the guy was more than happy to do it for $130. And I was happy because basically I paid $30 for it. So super good deal. And because I sold it on the old Instagram, and actually he paid me through Zelle. So I didn't pay any payment processing fees. I didn't pay any platform fees. So I literally got $130 cash money. I'm going to go ahead and go here. Cash money into my bank account. And that is it, with no platform fees. And that is the beauty of Instagram. And I want to say really quick, I had shown that I did, how much did I do on the old Instagram? Like, I don't remember what I said, like 400 something. I did a story sale for the second time this week. I did one last week, and I sold like 2 items, and I did it again this week. Story sales are really cool when you have a decent following, which, I mean, I'm pretty small. I only have just over 2,000 people following me. But I do a story sale.
Imagine when you have 10,000.
I know, it's crazy, right? So when I do a story sale, so far what I've been doing is I grab like 12 items or so, and I'll try to have a couple of things that are really cool pieces, and other things that I think are cool, but I've had them maybe for a long time. And I try to do really good prices on them. And last week I sold like 2 things. This week I sold 3 things for $275. And that was just, it literally took me maybe 20 minutes of work because I had to grab pictures and everything, but it really wasn't that hard. And I'm not going to say who it is because I'm not going to say who it is because I really think that it's not appropriate for me to, people should have a right to their privacy if they buy something from me, if somebody who is known, or even if it wasn't somebody known, you don't share.
Somebody famous.
But anyway, somebody, I was like, holy crap, because somebody contacted me and they're like, hey, I want this piece. And then they're like, and this one, and this one. And so it was just really exciting because it's somebody who is an actress who's pretty big. And I was like, she's following me? Like, that's so weird and awesome. But anyway, so I sold 3 things for $275. And again, no platform fees, guys.
No fees.
So it was super awesome. Anyway, that's it for our sales for the week. And
you want to talk about some of our highlights? But let's see if we have missed any questions while we were
probably.
Yeah, it's really hard. Like I said, guys, it's hard for us to follow in the chat when we have the share screen because we couldn't see it. So
so hold on a second. So Nature Girl says, so when you get to 20K on Instagram, you can tell eBay to kiss your. You know what? My goal for this next year is I think I could in like a year get to where I'm at least maybe equal with eBay on my Instagram. I could. It really has to do with the fact that I sell in like a niche market. So I don't know.
it's possible.
It's my goal, at least the same. Because right now, even though I might do as well or better with all my other platforms combined, eBay is still number 1. And I will say that sometimes it does suck to have to be completely dependent on one
major platform.
Yeah.
That's why we diversify. I did see the comment about Krusty Pits being a great punk band name. I think that's absolutely accurate. Greg Dupage Picker said that's the Offspring demo tape title.
I don't see why not. Do you want to have it be our punk band name?
Sure. The Krusty Pits.
What position or what band member will you be in the Krusty Pits? What are you to play an instrument?
I can play the triangle.
You're play the triangle, and you would actually be in a band called the Krusty Pits. I don't think you would be though.
I don't think I could be. No.
I think you'd stand off to the side and like spray Febreze at us or something like that.
Making faces the whole time.
You'd be able to just go and just like spraying,
Ew.
doing that. Yeah. Or you would always, anytime it would come up in conversation, I talk about my punk band, the Krusty Pits, you would always be off to the side, being like, I told her not to call it that. I told her not to call it that. I think it's really gross. Because she would have to like distance herself from the whole idea of it.
It's true.
Yeah. So
that's pretty accurate.
All right. So, hey, Teresa, why don't you come and tell us what you are frantically packaging up to ship out right now?
Because I'm one.
What are you desperately packing up? What's happening?
I sold a ton of those RA a couple Christmases ago. I know exactly what that is. Ray Dunn dog treat jar that I was dreading. I've had probably for 2 years. And a water bowl.
When Ray Dunn, because Ray Dunn has kind of jumped the shark. It's another one of those things. Once it hits TJ Maxx and Marshalls, that is your death toll right there, death knoll. Sometimes you'll find a good thing here and there, but for the most part, when you're seeing 25 pieces at every TJ Maxx that you walk into, that means
that's huge. But that's good RA stuff, though. I mean, I bought it. I sold a ton. That's where I get it from or TJ Maxx and Marshalls. But I bought a ton.
Right, you got to buy a ton to sell a large quantity to make.
So I just looked, and I have just 2 water bowls left, but it's a canister. So I wanted to do it while I had all my shipping supplies here instead of taking it home and trying to do 2 things. And now
you sound very wheezy, by the way.
She has asthma.
She's very wheezy right now. Move to Arizona, they say. It's good for people with asthma, they say.
It is good, but she still got it. All right, so
she's wheezier than normal.
I feel like Teresa's had her little wheeze on since the last time she had a really bad attack. Am I wrong? Like a year ago? I don't know.
It was last year. This time last year when we were here.
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is.
Yeah.
When we had her telling jokes on our Friday after dark,
and now we can start calling her Weeza.
That
would
be a first. But when I laugh, then I'm a goner.
Yeah.
Well, she's too grumpy today to laugh, so it's probably she's safe.
She ate, so she's a little less grumpy. And she got some packing done, so she's a little less grumpy. Anyway, but I know she's real excited to see what we've gotten so far. So we came into town on Friday.
Mm-hmm.
We drove from Las Vegas, where we live. We have a few places that we always stop at on the way. So we do, we hit a few places on the way, and then we get into town, and then we pretty much are done for the day.
Yeah, by the time we get here, it's always around between 5 and 6, and even though we leave around 8 in the morning because we have 3 or 4 places we stop. So, and then most of the stores are done, and then we've been driving all day, so we usually get a bite to eat and hang out. So we did go to hang out with Teresa and got to hang out with her mom, who we haven't seen in a year.
We got to have Bob's tacos,
and we got to hang out with our friend Holly and her sister-in-law. So that was.
Sister Jenna.
Sister.
So we always stop in Kingman because it's about an hour. Oh, sister-in-law?
I was right.
Okay. They look like they could be sisters. They sound like they could be sisters. Anyway, we always stop in Kingman, which is about an hour and a half from Vegas. And there's a few places we hit there. And I always love going to Gracie's Vintage because she carries the kind of stuff I want to buy and I want to sell.
We've said this before. She watches the show here sometimes. Gracie's Vintage in Kingman. She has some fantastic stuff. It's a little vintage store, but she has a great eye, and everything she has in there is great. I would buy everything. Obviously, there's not enough room for me to make money on it to buy everything because she's selling retail. But every once in a while, we can find a few things there, and she's really good about giving us, some deals because we bought. We go and buy.
If you're buying more than just 1 or 2 things, she's always willing to wheel and deal. So she's super cool. If you ever are going through Kingman, definitely stop by there. It's called Gracie's Vintage. So that's like my favorite place to stop because I tend to have less luck at regular thrift stores. So I always know I can get at least a few pieces that I'm going to be excited about. And then there's the Goodwill we go to. And then there's just the ARC. It's called ARC, whatever thrift store.
It's like
it's a nonprofit.
The ARC thrift.
Yeah. And that's like your favorite place.
It was.
But what's happened to it?
So something happened when COVID shut down. They cleared out the place. And it used to be this big, huge pit of stuff. Like it was like going to the bins, but without bins. It was just stuff was everywhere. The racks were chock full. Stuff was everywhere. Everything was kind of dirty, kind of messy. Every single thing in the store, every article of clothing was 50 cents to $1. So you could really dig and find stuff because there were so many things. Katy hated it because it was too much digging and it was just dirty. And
it's more about the dirty than the digging. And I feel like I'm going to get the hep every time I'm there.
So we would go and it was my favorite thing. I'd walk out of there with 1 or 2 garbage bags full of vintage crap that was good. And I'd pay like $15 for 2 garbage bags full of stuff. But whatever happened when they shut down COVID, they took the time to clear it out, clean it out, and get rid of everything. And now everything's nicely, neatly hung. It's still kind of dirty, but it's not overpacked anymore, and everything is hung on the racks, and there's not as much digging, and there is like
less treasure.
75% fewer items. So it's not as fun. So now we've been twice.
I mean,
Once in May.
You
and
still left with an entire garbage bag for $10.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but it was a lot less exciting garbage bag. Let's put it that way. Okay.
Anyway, so then we got to town Friday, hung out with Teresa and the girls and her mom. And then yesterday we were thrifting most of the day. And then this morning we did a little more thrifting.
Went to
Went
three
and had
stores today?
breakfast.
Four
She
stores?
bought me breakfast, which I really like because I love me some breakfast. So we've got some stuff to show you guys. We're not going to show you too much because it will get a little old, but I think you got some good hard goods.
I do. I have some hard goods to show. Yay! The other thing we did yesterday too is we went and did some garage sales. We went to some local garage sales yesterday with Teresa and
it was great. She was
Holly.
taking us around. We had like
We had a caravan.
Three-car caravan.
A caravan of 3 cars. And in case our friend Jenny is watching, Jenny, we missed you. We haven't seen our friend Jenny the last 2 times that we've come to visit because she's been recovering from cancer actually and cancer treatment. So she's being safe and being healthy and trying to stay that way. So we haven't been able to see her, but we did miss you.
Absolutely. Oops, sorry.
right.
So do you want to go
show us
ahead?
stuff?
Yeah, show us what you got. Come on.
All right.
By the way, Vikki was like, why don't you take that off? So this is the mask that Noelle made for me. The thing that's great about the way she designs her masks is they don't go around your ears, they go behind your head. And when you're not wearing them, you just have them around your neck. So when we went out earlier today, I put it on at the beginning of the day and I'm wearing it. And whenever we go in the store, I could just do this real quick, and we were going back out. So I didn't want to take it all the way off. And I thought, you know what? I'm going to leave it on. It's with my ET. I'm wearing my ET t-shirt with my ET mask. I'm pretty cool.
She's now coordinating her mask for their t-shirt.
Pretty much. Well, it's just because I have a lot of ET stuff. But anyway, all right, go ahead.
Well, I'm going to show this cool thing that I actually had plugged in because I think it's so cool. So Katy spotted this for me at a garage sale.
I'm a good spotter.
She's a good spotter. You can't really see what it is on the thing. Sorry. All right. So I paid $6 for this. It's a lamp. I'm going to turn it off and you can see it now. You can see the $6 tag. It's a lamp that it's made to look like a coconut, although I don't know that.
I don't know. It looks a little
Katy
bit.
says it looks a little phallic. But it's a Corona. It's got like the Corona beer in the sand. And it's supposed to look like a coconut and the picture spins. Anyway, it was $6. There's one listed for like 150 and there are none that I can find that have sold real quick, at least not in the last 90 days. So I'm going to take a quick look. It's definitely worth more than the $6 I pay. I'm not so sure that it's from the 90s.
Yeah, like
it's not, I don't think it's worth necessarily 150, but it's definitely worth more than the $6.
Pretty cool. It's too bad you guys can't see it because it's not that bright, but you can't.
It reflects weird. It doesn't really look like a torpedo. It's actually made to look like a coconut on the top and the bottom, but honestly, it looks pretty phallic.
It's
whatever.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the coconut dick lamp. I mean, sorry. Go ahead.
You're such a jerk. All right, so that was one thing. This is the time of year that I do love heading into the holidays because Halloween decorations and Christmas decorations are pretty much hitting all the shelves. And I love some Halloween and Christmas decorations, especially the Halloween ones. They tend to sell really well. And this is the time of the year you find a lot of those Gemmy or Gemmy, G-E-M-M-Y, animated, animatronic type of things. And they almost always sell very well. People love them. Now they still make them, but the ones that were made in the 90s that are harder to find and now they've broken down, if you find them and they work, that's where you're going to make your real money. So this is one of those things. This is not super old, but it's old enough. I paid $1 at a garage sale for this. It does work. That's the thing that you're taking the risk where you buy these things. If you buy them cheap enough, you can't really test everything. You've got to it's the spirit ball. So it's got this head with this talking witch in the globe. I paid $1. This will probably sell for like $80, maybe more. And it's made by Gemmy. As you can see, it sold for $20. Sold at Walmart for $20. God knows how long ago. Sometime in the 90s or the early 2000s. I can't tell because it's too far away. Oh, actually, this was 2007. So this one was even newer. But still, $80, $90.
I saw Walmart $10.99 stuff for $80 all the time.
Yep, I paid $1. So I love these talking animatronic Gemmy things. I just love them. I love them.
You had like that and one other thing, and the guy was like, $1 for each, $1.
Yeah, you really can't complain.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome.
And then
I like when they have, because they have like this big, they have this big whole neighborhood-wide garage sale thing here, once a year, twice a year. And what's cool is a lot of the people, it's like they just want to get rid of their crap. They're not doing it. They're not doing it because they want to make a bunch of money. Like sometimes you go to garage sales and their stuff's just priced way too high and you can't make any money.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like when you go to these neighborhood ones where it's like all they have to do is put stuff out, they don't have to like do any advertising or anything like that.
Yeah.
A lot of times they're just like, whatever, 50 cents for all.
They don't even care.
Yeah.
They don't even care.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know me, Greg. I probably will go higher. I didn't really look it up or anything. So again, when we're going over these things, this is pre-research, pre-listing. I'm always going to go a good 25 to 30% higher than what I expect to get for something once I do list it. And I don't auction very much at all. This was another piece that I picked up, garage sale as well. I paid $3. Brio is like Legos, but wooden Lego sets. So it's similar to Lego.
I
Polar
started that one
Express.
too.
Yeah, Polar Express. The only thing is it's missing one of the little figures. So honestly, if I get the figure, which I might buy the figure from someone else to make it complete, I paid $3 for it. If I buy the figure, I can sell it for like $120, which I think even higher as we're heading toward the holidays, as we actually get closer to Christmas. Without the figure, I can sell it for probably $60. So I'm pretty sure I'm gonna like source the figure before I list it. Otherwise, it looks complete. I didn't put it together yet, but it looks complete. So $3. Polar Express. There's a couple of different versions. People are selling them for at least $100, $110 right now. Again, I think it'll sell even higher as we get closer to the holidays. So I'll see if I can find the piece that I want. So I love all these little things that talk and move and all that kind of stuff. But as usual, the risk is that you can't test everything, right? So I am about 50-50. When you buy something that needs batteries, you get about a 50-50 chance that it's going to work when you get it home and clean the batteries out. And sometimes you've got to like file down some, battery sludge and try to get them to work again for you. And this is one of those things. That's her job. I paid up for this one a little bit. I paid it was 20% off of $10.99. But who doesn't love Alf, right? So
Keep them away for your cats, though.
I love cats.
To eat them. He likes to eat them.
So this is a talking Alf. It's the original. You get to like open up his back and check the battery compartment and all that kind of stuff. But I'm hoping he works. If he works, I should get about between $75 and $100.
Nice.
If he doesn't work, it's still going to be a $40 plus. Hopefully he'll work.
I think you're low on that.
Teresa says she's low.
I checked him briefly. It depends on which talking Alf he is, to be honest with you. And I can't tell until I put him in. I put the batteries in. I don't know what version. There's 2 different versions. So it depends.
You guys are quiet in the chat. We've got like 200 people watching, but they're like, you guys are really quiet in the chat. I was like, thought there was something broken or something.
I know. All right, you want to go?
Yeah. Sure, let me go.
I showed 4 things.
I'll go. So the first couple things.
G. Jasso says, "Bless you, Teresa." Teresa's sneezing in the background.
Sneezing. So I got a handful of things at Gracie's Vintage. Some of the stuff she got herself. She does do. I think she does some consignment there as well. So she's got some different vendors and stuff. Because it's kind of a small little town, and probably some people they don't really have a lot of opportunities.
It's a real small town. I think it's unless you're going through there, you wouldn't know. I mean, it's a drive-through town. That's really what Kingman is.
Yeah, so
but it's a big drive-through.
So I got a bunch of stuff. I spent like a couple $100 and paid up on a few things, but I got some really cool items. So first of all, the ones I'm most excited about, I got a couple of movie T-shirts. This one is a Legends of the Fall T-shirt, and it's got Brad Pitt on the front of it. It's very faded. It needs to be washed. I'll try not to touch you with it. It does need to be washed. I mean, it doesn't. I'm just saying that because it's got like some.
It's got some schmutz on it.
Got some schmutz on it, so I need to wash it. It's very faded. It's got. I know there's like at least one hole on like a sleeve or something like that. I can't see it now, but it's got like a hole. But Really cool t-shirt. I don't know. I probably paid like $35 for it. I don't remember exactly what I paid for it. It was like $35.
I think it was 30.
This one I'm not entirely sure. I'm hoping I can sell it for like 100, but we'll see. We'll see. There's other Legends of the Fall t-shirts out there that have different graphics on the front of it, so I don't know how desirable this particular one is going to be. But it's really cool and
She keeps
movie.
getting closer and
Sorry.
closer to my head.
Movie
with
t-shirts
that
are
thing.
hot right now. And I got one other movie t-shirt
Nope.
that I think is really awesome. And this one, there are not, I don't think there's any available out there right now. This is 8 Seconds, Luke Perry, 8
R.I.P.
Seconds
Luke Perry.
from 1996, movie about him as a cowboy rodeo, a bull riding cowboy.
It was a terrible movie.
Yeah.
It really
But
was.
this is a really
great
cool
t-shirt.
t-shirt.
Terrible.
Great graphic on the front of it. It is worn and faded. It's got this one. I think has. I'm trying to see where there. I thought there was. Maybe it's just the other one that had the little hole. I can't remember. But it's really cool. Single stitch. Very faded, but in all the perfect ways. Again, paid like $30 for it. We'll see what I can sell it for. I already put it up in my Instagram.
Got a little excitement on it.
I got some people asking about it, but then, you know, my first price I said was like $175. I don't know if I'll ever get that much for it, but I start out at a higher number, and I had a couple people ask about it, and then radio silence once I told them how much I wanted. So we'll see. I might have to come down from that, but I hope I can get at least 100 for it. We'll see.
Teresa came and kidnapped Alf. I think she's trying to get him to work.
Oh yeah, she's working on it for us.
Battery.
Yeah, I figured.
I also went to, so here in town, I went to a couple different places. Obviously went to thrift stores. I pretty much don't find anything in thrift stores ever.
Not so much.
I
anymore.
might find 2 things that are mediocre that I know I can get like $30-$40 for, maybe.
Now, mind you, a little over a year ago, Katy was exclusively buying her inventory from thrift stores. So she's just completely changed her business model. That's
part of it. That is part of it. But part of it also is like the first time we came here on a sourcing trip, like maybe a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, I found tons of stuff. We went to all the savers, and it's stuff I would still get today.
Mhm.
I was finding what?
Last September.
that wasn't
No,
the
it
first
was
time.
like, it was December of 2018. It was like
That wasn't,
early.
yeah, it
early
wasn't the
December.
first time we came.
It was the first time. It was before my accident, December of 2018. And we went to all the savers in town, and I found so much stuff. A lot of it just has to do with how popular vintage streetwear is now. Like, it was popular back then, but it has exploded since then. And so you cannot find that shit.
Like I
in
said,
the
even like
thrift
I've been
store.
saying, like every time I go to a Savers, there's like 12 bros hanging in the t-shirt aisles.
Yes. So you're just not gonna. So it's
Every time.
So it's a combination of that and the fact that I have stepped up my game and I'm going for much higher dollar amount items, so I have to pay up for them. So I went to Buffalo Exchange. Didn't get anything crazy there, but I got some cool stuff, but nothing to blow your mind. Of course, Gracie's Vintage. And then I also went to Wang's Vintage, which is the vintage. Wang's Closet is the streetwear shop in town. And he has a very tiny, I went there too. He has a very tiny vintage section there. And the guy that was working there said, hey, you should go to our vintage store. It's pretty much entirely vintage. And so I went there and I got some stuff there as well. Of course, that stuff I had to pay up for big time. So I'll show you a couple of things I got at the Buffalo Exchange that I thought were funny and cool. So this is, Goof Off.
Yeah.
It says Goof Off Expert. I like this. I think it's funny. But it's a Goof Off brand, but it says Goof Off Expert. So I think it's kind of a funny t-shirt.
Alf does not work is
no.
the update.
So far, yeah. It's on, yeah, it needs to be probably got some erosion. So that's where my job comes in, and I do some filing and whatnot. All right, so this is the old Fruvolume tag, early 90s, Goof Off Expert. I think this is a great t-shirt. I think I could probably sell it for $48, $50. It's just
48.
well, because I priced my stuff at like $47.99.
We sell this $48 or $50. That was very specific.
Because I'll price it at $47.99, but really $50, whatever. I like it. It's pretty cool. I paid like $10 for that. And this one, I found this in the women's section. You always got to look in the women's section at Buffalo Exchange because they put cool vintage t-shirts in there that are a lot like on the smaller side. And so this one is, I spent an evening with Louis Grizzard. So Louis Grizzard Most of you probably don't know who he is.
Who the heck is Louis?
He's a writer. He died like in the mid 90s. He died really young. I think he was only like 47. But
What did he write?
He wrote like 25 books, but he's most well known for a humorous, what do you call it? What do you call it when you write a newspaper column? Like a humor column in like Atlanta, like an Atlanta newspaper or something. But he wrote like 25 books. So I think probably if you're from Atlanta, you probably know who he is. But I think it's a cool t-shirt. I spent an evening with Louis Grizzard. Again, I probably paid like $10-12 for this. I'll sell it for $50 again. I'm sure there's somebody out there who knows. See, Barbara says, my dad loved reading him. So there's people who, somebody out there is going to think it's a cool shirt.
Interesting. Debbie Porter says, clean the battery terminals with alcohol. It brings them right back.
There you go.
All right. Okay. Junk Girl Patty said, I'm from North Carolina and I have heard of him. Okay.
All right.
There you go. Must be more of a local person, like that type of thing.
But that's something where, again, it comes like the instinct thing. I think the graphic was cool. Clearly, he was a known writer.
Cheryl says you're butchering his name.
How do you? There's an R in it. She's saying gizzard. I'm not. I mean, does he not? Is it a silent R? It's GRIZZARD. Anyway, I don't know. Anyway, the graphic's cool. It's an old T-shirt. I thought there's got to be somebody out there who's going to want to pay for this.
Maybe it's misspelled on the shirt. Makes it a misprint. I don't know.
It's not, because I looked it up and that was how his name was spelled. All right, I'll show one more. So when I went to
Grizzard.
Oh, sorry, Grizzard.
Grizzard.
She was writing gizzard and telling me I was saying it wrong. So thanks a lot, Cheryl. Anyway, at Wang's Closet, they have like a very small little vintage section, and I picked up, I think, 3 things. This is one of them. It's interesting because the sleeve says, is it Valley Total Fitness?
Yeah.
Valley Total Fitness. I kind of wish that wasn't on the sleeve because the graphic on the shirt itself is
I used to belong to that gym
awesome.
when I was in like my young fit 20s.
So this is from the 90s, like late 90s, but look at how cool the shirt is. It says, technology drives the future. The future is not what it used to be. And it's got like that classic, who drew that again? Is it Michelangelo or?
I think it's Michelangelo, yeah.
Or is it the other guy?
I don't know.
We're terrible. Sorry, guys. Anyway, but half of it's man and half of it's a robot. And it's got like the computer circuits. So I actually think the graphic is really, really cool. I just wish it didn't have the Valley Total Fitness on the sleeve because I don't really think it goes together very well. So,
see, Bridget says Mr. Grizzard is very well known in these parts.
See, that's what I told you. I said didn't know about him, but yeah, Georgia, because he was like from Atlanta. Yeah, Da Vinci. That's what I'm saying.
Da Vinci. There you go.
Sorry, I'm terrible. Anyway,
List Perfectly said they love it.
Yeah,
we love it.
That's the Vitruvian man.
I think
Thank
it's
you.
very
There you go.
Yes, so I think it's very, very cool, and I love the robot part of it. I just think it's weird that it's a Valley Fitness T-shirt. So, but
I don't know.
still super cool, and I think I paid like $40 for it because you know what? I'm gonna sell it for 100, bitches.
At least.
Okay,
At least.
that's what I'm telling you right now.
That's what you do.
All right, you can go ahead and show some more stuff.
All right. So I think I've talked about this brand before. I don't pick up children's clothing very often. I will pick up vintage Polly Flinders. I'll pick up vintage little girls' dresses here and there, the over-the-top pageant type dresses. They sell very well. But here's another thing that I picked up. This is a really cute brand. This is kind of before Hannah Anderson became popular. Matilda Jane. So Matilda Jane, they did like the matchy mother-daughter dresses and cute little things. It's lots of ruffles, lots of really cute natural patterns. Very much for that like modest, girly girl type of thing. So this is a cute little pair of pants with these ruffles. And again, I don't pick up kids very often, but it was $7 for the whole set. And this is the top that goes with it. And it's a size 7. It's really
Totally something I would have worn.
Yeah, no, I will probably list this for like $50. I just think it's very, very cute. It's just one of those things. Like I don't sell kids' clothes, but certain things I will pick up for sure.
Yeah.
And that's one of them. So there's that. I did I picked up maybe 3 or 4 men's type of things. There's not too much. When I'm in the men's, when I'm with Katy, she gets first dibs at the men's stuff.
The first dibs on nothing.
And because we buy almost all of the same things, when the men's good stuff is slim pickings, that means I don't get anything because she'll get it, of course. So sometimes if we're somewhere and there's like a thrifting abundance of things, she'll be a little pickier and then she'll be like, we want this instead, and I'll take it. But in this case, there's been slim pickings altogether. So,
but I found some men's stuff, like some jackets and stuff that I just wasn't interested in buying and selling myself, but I knew it was good. So I would bring it over to her and ask her if she wanted them.
So I picked this vintage Looney Tunes 90s Henley up just because Looney Tunes is super hot right now. I paid $5 and $5.29. I don't know why that would price at Goodwill, $5.29. That's a very specific number. But anyway, just a men's. It's a good size. It's got this nice little embroidered graphic. Especially, there's a whole little controversy about, Elmer Fudd, and they're taking his guns away and everything, and he's got his gun. So anyway, I'll see I'd probably sell it for like
$200.
Probably 40 or 50 actually.
Real quick, I wanted to say, so Lori says that she signed up for List Perfectly this week.
Yay!
Pretty excited.
Hopefully used our code.
She says she's used to Safari, so it's a huge learning curve. I will say, I put off signing up for List Perfectly for so long. And when I finally did, I'm so glad I did, because I've since expanded to 2 more platforms, and it has hugely increased my bottom line. So it's well worth it. It's one of those things where anytime you're like doing something full time or whatever, and you have to like really make some big changes, I know it's like
you have to make an effort. You have to make an effort to learn a different platform and to learn something new. Katy and I are both super stubborn and both very resistant to change. And both of us have tried, use List Perfectly. I jumped on long before Katy did, and she was super resistant, and now she's kicking herself for not trying it sooner. I think.
No, not really, because for me, it was really all about getting grailed. And so it was the right time for me, but it has definitely made a huge difference. So but the thing is, it's like when you do this full time or you have limited time, it's like you have to make a major effort to be like, okay, I'm going to switch up how I do everything. And for me, it was a big change to how I managed my time.
Yeah.
And so I get it. It can be
so
tough.
if you are on the fence for List Perfectly, there is a code below our channel. Hopefully you would use our code. It's LVPinkPeacock 77. And that gives you 30% off of your first month. If you don't know the code, it's listed below. If you need it, send me a message, send Katy a message. We do get a little bit of credit as an affiliate link. We would appreciate it. We don't charge for any classes or anything like that. So if we can get a little help for all the things that we do to teach you guys, it's much appreciated. But we definitely love List Perfectly. As those of you that are longtime watchers of our channel know, we do not endorse anything we don't use ourselves, and we endorse literally 2 things. Yeah. In the 2 years we've had this channel, 3 things I should say. We endorse Not Your Dad's CPA, Mark II, because he is a fantastic CPA that works with resellers, and we both use him.
Both use him for our taxes.
And pay him to do our taxes. It's not something we get for free. And he's done a fantastic job. And we have both been working with List Perfectly for a very long time. And we very much believe in this product. We believe in the wonderful girls that created this product. And when people talk about things being a game changer, List Perfectly is and has been a game changer in my business. And in so many other businesses, because it's gotten so big and so they're so good. And I just keep waiting for the next thing it's going to do, because I use it for a very, very small percentage of what the capabilities are. And I realize that, and I'm very obvious about that. But it has increased my business this year by 30% just by adding a cross-posting software. Yeah. So
I think my next move with List Perfectly is going to be building my own Shopify website, because that makes sense for me because of the niche that I'm in, and selling more on Instagram.
For sure. Because I have all one-off shit, Shopify would never make sense for me. I would have to have a huge following of people that like to buy for me for some random reason. So it's not going to work for me. But I definitely want to add Grailed, and I want to add Facebook Marketplace. Now that Facebook Marketplace is so easy, and you're allowed to do shipping on the platform. Yeah, I'm so I'm there. I'm ready to get it there. So
Yeah, absolutely. All right.
yeah.
What you got? What
so
you got?
this, I finally found one of my grails this week. Unfortunately, it's a women's and not a men's, but I did still find it. I paid up for it. I paid $16.99, but I found a triple fat goose jacket. Yeah, a vintage, I think it's probably 90s, early 2000s, reversible triple fat goose down jacket. It's got this weird, crazy pink, purple, and teal tiger print. And then the other side, it's not photographing as well with this lighting, but it's like this royal purple, and it's satin and puffy. So I'm excited. There are not a lot of women's triple fat goose jackets. Most of it is menswear, and the men's do sell a lot better, especially like the straight black jackets. But I was still happy to find it. $16.99. I'll probably sell it for like 100, maybe 120.
Sure. Yeah, I saw earlier. Nature Girl said, one thing I don't like with graphic tees, the men get all the cool stuff. Graphic tees for women are just blah. You know, it's tough because I totally get it. I wear men's t-shirts anyway, so it doesn't bother me at all, obviously. But from a resale perspective, just like with you talking about that jacket, you know, the men's stuff just sells better. And unfortunately, I mean, I know part of that's because they have better graphics and stuff like that when you talk about graphic t-shirts. But I mean, sometimes I find like a really cool graphic t-shirt that is women's, and it's just not going to have the same value.
It doesn't sell for as much. But I like it. Yeah, and like she likes to wear men's clothing. She likes that fit better than a women's clothing. But every once in a while, she'll come home with a t-shirt, and I'm like, I would wear that. I would wear that, except I don't like men's clothing. So I get what she's saying.
Totally.
I don't like men's t-shirts. I have a very large chest, and men's t-shirts, if I wear something that fits my chest, it looks like I'm wearing a tent. So I have no desire to wear something that makes me look huge. So for me, it's not flattering, and I can't stand it. Yeah. So, so I'm sorry. Cheryl's asking label on the triple fat goose. I'm assuming you need pocket. Oh, I got to get the pocket because it's reversible. I did not know it was triple fat goose, by the way. I just knew that it was a down jacket. This is the time of the year when you find anything that's goose down, that type of jacket, you want to pick up goose down. So when I was just feeling, I could tell that it was a goose down jacket, and it was reversible. So I had to dig in the pockets to find the brand. So this is it.
Very nice. Very nice.
Triple fat goose. Okay. Let's see. What else did I get? What you got? First, this was one of our first stops. I did pay up for this a little bit. This was our very first stop. Goodwill in Kingman. I paid $20 for this, but this is a dead stock Imaginext Castle. It's not that old. It's like 2016 or 2017, something like that.
That's awesome.
But it's still new in the package. It's just dusty. And this sells for $120 plus shipping. So I paid $20. I'll sell it for $120.
Crazy.
What else do I have? I have my stuff spread everywhere. Sorry, guys.
What you got? What you got?
I'll do two more things, and then you can show. Oh, I've got two little hard bits things. Let's go there. Again, Christmas stuff. This was $5. This is a Disney Parks popcorn bucket. Some of them sell very well. This one's not that old. This is only 2019. But you put his little, he blinks, his eyes blink. Can you see that?
Oh,
yeah. So anyway, this was $5. Nightmare Before Christmas, Oogie Boogie popcorn bucket. It's got the little nightmare thing. People collect these things. Again, like anything else, I don't necessarily know why people collect what they do, but they do. This should sell for about $40. It's just this little plastic thing.
I love it.
Corey says I can sell it for more on Amazon, or I think that's the Imaginext thing she means. Yeah, I might put it on Amazon. And then I picked this up at Gracie's Vintage. I paid $5 for it. This is a dead stock vintage Ferrari.
She let us go into the basement.
Yeah.
And dig around in the basement. It was fun and dark and scary and creepy, and we found cool stuff.
Vintage 80s Ferrari, not licensed. So this will probably go on Etsy. I'm not sure if I'll get it taken down on eBay or not. I'm not sure how strict Ferrari is. But it's like a vintage dead stock foam mesh back trucker hat. But it's definitely vintage. I think I can sell this for about 100.
It's awesome.
I'll have to double check.
DuPage Pick Air says it's fire. It's fire.
So it might go on Etsy, Macari, that type of thing. I'm not sure if I'm going to put it on eBay. I may not put it on eBay. So
yeah,
be careful when you're looking at that kind of stuff, because obviously, like, while I'm not endorsing selling anything counterfeit like Louis Vuitton, Chanel, that kind of thing, vintage things like Ferrari, Gucci, those
some like the vintage bootleg stuff.
Like
I mean, I don't
the
even know that I would call that bootleg though. It's
that
just
type
like
of
an
vintage
iron-on.
bootleg. It's probably just an iron-on thing. Anyway, so there's a fine line when you're talking about vintage and streetwear. So
Yeah.
It's kind of tough to describe what's acceptable and what isn't. But you don't want to put like a fake Louis Vuitton Speedy bag on. But if you've got a sweatshirt that has an old vintage iron-on Gucci label that's not really Gucci, that's something that would sell like crazy on Instagram or Etsy or something like that. So
You just gotta be careful.
you just have to know.
It's what you're comfortable with.
Yeah. So this is just this is a vintage lined Neiman Marcus big satin bathrobe. I love vintage bathrobes. So this is like probably 80s, 90s. Could be men's, could be women's, could be either. It has these bold jewel tones in the paisley. I paid $5.99 for this. I'll probably sell it for about 100 or so. And I have one other one this one's definitely women's. You can tell by the brand. The brand is called Cypress. Again, 90s. It's got like this terry cloth lining. This is just, again, this is very popular in the late 80s, early 90s. This like,
Is this
very,
is this Cypress Hills clothing line?
and it's not Cypress
What?
Hills clothing line.
That's insane in the membrane.
It is not insane in the membrane. So satin, it has the belt. Again, this is something I'll sell for, probably about $100. That was a very popular type of look in the 90s. Okay, and you can go.
Oh, me. See, I feel like the chat is not coming through all the way because there's like 200 people and yet nobody's said anything in the last 5 minutes. I don't buy it. I don't buy it, guys.
I don't know. Our chat might be behind. Sorry, guys.
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway,
You want to show what you have?
yeah, I'm on it right now. So I don't have a whole lot left. But when I went to, here, let me show you this one first. So we went to some Salvation Armies, and whenever I go to the Salvation Army, again, I'm not going to find, it's pretty rare that I actually find anything vintage in the men's section, but Salvation Army is another one where a lot of times they put vintage in the women's, if it's smaller, depending what the graphic is that it's on it. And so I always go, I do my vintage t-shirt whispering, and I go down the aisle and I do this, and I slowly put my fingers over the tops so I can see their collars, because I can see when it's a vintage one. And sometimes I see a vintage collar and I see the tag and I get excited and I pull it out and it's like it's puffy paint, homemade puffy paint Christmas t-shirt, and it looks awful. And then I go,
Number one grandma.
and then I scream like Captain Kirk, God. But anyway, sometimes it pays off if I find something cool. So this was one I found in the women's section. And it says Shark Nerds, and it's for Bermuda.
It's Grandma Shark.
It's from 1985, and it's a Far Side t-shirt from 1985. You can see their Shark Nerds, which is pretty awesome. So it's just a vintage 80s single stitch t-shirt. This is I don't think I've ever seen this actual tag before.
The
It's made in
Far
USA.
Side, anything t-shirt, sweatshirt, anything Far Side related, Gary Larson is super collectible.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a smaller size, but I think I'll at least be able to get like $70 for it. But
I bet you get more for it.
perhaps.
I've sold stained Far Side sweatshirts.
Yeah, it's really cool. It's really cool. Okay, so I went to when I went to Wang's Vintage, that's where I spent some serious money on some stuff, but I think it'll pay off And one of the things for me, because I'm getting more into doing like Instagram and stuff like that, and I'm moving a lot more product, and I am paying up for stuff. There are certain pieces that I will really pay up, and I may not make a lot of money on them, but it's so that I can have those eye-grabbing pieces. And sometimes I get some crazy cheap ones, like buying all this stuff from my super top secret seller. And other times I might pay $100 for a shirt that I'm going to get 150 on. But if I can sell to somebody and no fees, or I can sell for 200, I'm still going to make a little bit of money.
$50 profit is good. If you bought something for $5 and sold it for 55, you'd be happy. So buying something for 50 and selling it for 100 is still a good thing.
It is. And for me, because of the way my model is set up, and because I have a decent base of knowledge in what I can sell things for, it pays off for me. But I understand that it is somewhat risky, and I don't do it on everything. But I did pick this up, the Saturday Night Live. Of course, that's Dana Carvey being George Bush Sr.
This juncture.
Wouldn't print. So I think I need to get this up as soon as possible. I'll post it sometime this next week. But I did pay $100 for this. It's a nice size. It's a large on the Fruit of the Loom tag.
I like that one a lot.
So yeah, so I saw this and I'm like, I gotta get this. So I paid $100 for it. So yeah, there's a big difference between thrifting for t-shirts at a thrift store.
Yeah.
And
it's very topical though. I think that would sell.
Yeah. So I mean, when it comes to stuff like this, the way I see it is I'm going to be able to, at the very least, get my money back.
Well, you're paying for marketing.
Exactly. It's about elevating your store.
You're paying for marketing. You're paying to get people to come to your store, to look at the other things that you've purchased, to see what you have, to draw interest, to have the hashtags, all that stuff. And that's the cheapest way to pay for marketing, is to make a little profit or make your money back. It's not costing you anything.
I'm not going to lose any money on it. I think I can make money on it. If I break even, I'll be happy. So that's basically the way it goes. And somebody gets to have this really cool t-shirt that they're going to be really excited to have and wear. So, but it's a different way of doing things that isn't going to work for everybody. But it's a great shirt. It's in great condition, single stitch. And a lot of people really like this Fruit of the Loom tag. It's you get to wear when you collect
Fruit of the Loom.
When you collect vintage to wear it yourself, you have like your labels that you like, that you prefer. And a lot of people really like the Fruit of the Loom, the way those t-shirts fit and feel.
Vintage collars are wider than in most cases. Nanette's asking. Vintage collars are wider than newer or narrower. They tend to be not every time. It's not a hard and fast rule, but see how this is thick. Right there, that's like an inch as opposed to like a half an inch.
Well, so what I was going to say is if you go back to like 70s and early 80s, they actually are narrow, and then they got really wide in the 80s and 90s, and then they started getting narrow again more recently. So you don't want to
It's not a hard and fast.
You want to be careful because you might miss some really cool earlier stuff. Same thing with single stitch versus double stitch. You go back to like the 70s and early 80s, you got a lot of double stitch stuff.
So while you're pulling your next thing, I'm going to answer this question. Bought a vintage blanket today. He's my reason. Said bought a vintage blanket today. Carefree pile, 100% Dolan. I'm not entirely familiar with that particular brand or anything, but the fact that it's made in West Germany means that it's vintage. And generally, any blanket that is made in West Germany is going, or almost anything that is made in West Germany is going to be vintage, and is vintage for sure. It is going to be collectible and have some good value to it. So the fact that it has a tiger on it, the fact that it's made in West Germany, both of those things, Dolan is just like acrylic. It's just a different brand name for an acrylic blanket. So it's the same type of thing that a beater lac or a San Marcos is going to be made out of. So for that, all of those things that you just said above, if it has colors in it, if it's not just brown and tan, that's going to elevate the price even better. But yeah, I would say that's at least $100 blanket.
Okay, so the next thing that I got at Wang's Vintage is this Mystery Science Theater 3000 t-shirt. If you follow me on Instagram, I already posted this. It's showing a little washed out here on the screen, but hold on, I'm trying to get in so you can actually see the graphic. Mystery Science Theater 3000. And this is actually for the movie that came out in 1996, I believe. So I'm a huge MST3K fan, as you can tell, because I call it MST3K. I watched so many episodes. And I love the movie.
Geek. That's a fine line.
So rude. Anyway, so I actually picked this up thinking like, oh, cool, I could wear this at least for a while and then sell it. It doesn't have a tag. The tag is cut out. And then I realized when I measured it that it's like an XL, that it's going to be too big for me to wear. But I got a good deal on this. I only paid $50 for it. I think I could easily sell this for at least $100. It's a really, really cool shirt.
I bet you can sell it for more than that. There are an awful lot of MST3K geeks out there.
Well, I just don't know. I don't know like how rare this particular T-shirt is. I really like the movie as well as
You
the
haven't looked
show.
it up? Yeah, to
No.
figure out. Yeah, so
But I paid $50 for it. It does have I think it's got like a hole in the collar, but I think that I can get that fixed pretty easily with Crystal's help because it's in a spot that it could easily be repaired. Then I got a couple of other things at Wayne's Vintage that I really paid up for. So this one is another one I paid $100 for, I believe. This is from Panther, the movie. This is a 90s movie, Mario and Melvin Van Peebles film. So this is I think this is very topical now because of everything that's kind of the unrest going on in our country. This is the FBI declared them public enemy #1. The people called them heroes. So this is just a really, really, really cool graphic on it. Really cool T-shirt.
feels like a dead stock.
It's in really nice condition. It's got some storage wear on it, so I'll probably throw it in with a bleach batch. But it's single stitch. I did want to show. It does have like the wider collar. I do want to show look at this tag. So this tag says it's short tees, short hill tee, whatever. It does say made in China. And some people get so stuck on this made in the USA thing. I guarantee you this is legit vintage. I've gone and I've looked up, I found this exact same T-shirt, exact same print, a different tag, but from the same era, but it was not the US or China. It was a different one, El Salvador or something like that. Some people really, especially when you're first learning vintage, get stuck on this idea that it has to be made in the US for it to be vintage. And if it's made in China, then it can't be. But there's plenty of stuff that was made in China in the 90s. And wherever they were getting their T-shirts to make their movie promos this particular time. But I paid $100 for this. I think I could definitely sell this for at least $250. So
Maybe more.
We'll see. But that's kind of in my mind when I'm paying up for something like that. We'll see. And then the last thing I'll show you from there, this one I think is going to be the one that I'll make some money on. It's got another one that's got a split in the seam back here, but this will be an easy fix for Crystal. You can see right here, split in the seam. But this is a vintage 80s Blood-Sucking Freaks promo T-shirt. Now, this T-shirt this movie is actually from the 70s. This tag is a Screen Stars tag. That is an 80s tag. This particular thing, it probably was from when Trauma Films did the distribution for this movie in the 80s. And actually, I think when they renamed it Blood-Sucking Freaks, because it was actually released originally under a different title. I will not bore you guys with that, but it's just a really cool T-shirt. I paid $100 for this. It's very, very low priced in my opinion. This is one that I will probably hold out for and try to get more like $400 for it. This particular T-shirt, but this is just an amazing.
And wear that one.
I will wear this. I will definitely wear this. I'll probably wear this when I do the flea next. I don't know that I'll necessarily wear it out. It's pretty
thin.
Well, I wasn't going to say that. This movie is a very graphic. That was not my reasoning.
Oh,
it was more like it's a very graphic, gory picture for a movie T-shirt. But that one, I love me some Blood-Sucking Freaks.
Okay.
Directed by Joel Reed. I did go to a special. This is what's crazy though. I went to a special screening for this in New York City back when I lived there, and I was literally talking. I don't remember how we got on the subject, but I was telling Vikki.
We were talking about indie films and indie film movie theaters and how we don't have enough of them in Vegas.
And I talked about how I moved to New York and I was looking for a theater for that kind of stuff. And I went to a special screening that Joel Reed was at, a Q&A afterwards and everything for Blood-Sucking Freaks. And then that theater closed the next day and I was really sad about it. And then the same day, I find a Blood-Sucking Freaks T-shirt. So
like
pretty.
2 hours later.
Pretty freaking cool, guys. All right, go ahead.
So I'm just going to show a couple more things. One of the things I talk about, if you happen to be a new viewer of our show, you maybe have never heard me say this before, but this is the time of the year that you want to be looking at the racks for costumes. Everybody in every store, whether it's a Savers, a Goodwill, a Salvation Army, they have racks and racks and racks of stuff out for Halloween costumes. And it's not just Halloween costumes that they have in there. They will put things in there that they deem to be costume-y. So in a lot of cases, I'm going to find vintage clothing or something garish or something I would love to buy. The usual catch is that it's not applicable to sales coupons or the color of the week or what have you. But everything that I'm going to show you next is something that I picked up on off the Halloween rack.
Yeah, I just want to say real quick, Victoria's pro tip right here.
Yeah. Pro tip. Look at the racks. Anyway, so this, I paid $6.59 for this. This is a vintage 1970s tracksuit. I only wish it were like Adidas or an early 80s Nike or something like that. It's not, but it is a brand called Jaguar. And it's a 70s tracksuit in like bright yellow with green stripes down the sleeve with the matching pants.
Ooh, matching pants.
Matching track pants with the elastic. It still has some elastic to it. It's a little bit loose, but it's still good. Yeah, with the stripes down the side. I'm pretty excited. 70s. So $6.59. I will probably sell this for maybe $100, $125.
Throw it.
This is another vintage, probably early 80s, no name brand, just a women's shirt. It's red. It's got the ruffle in the front. Like if you were going to wear this with like a really bad, this was the whole menswear scene in the 80s. Like picture like Melanie Griffith and Working Girl wearing a business suit. That was when women's suits and business wear became a thing in the early 80s. And that's what this type of shirt is. And these type of shirts sell very quickly and very easily in the $40 price range. So I paid $4.49. I'll sell it for $40. Let's see. This is another shirt that was there in the costume rack. Another $4.49. This is a vintage. This one's probably late 80s, maybe early 90s. Has some shoulder pads. This is a crop top with the sheer sleeves. Actually, this is 90s with these sheer sleeves. And it's got some beading and some fringe, and then it ties at the waist with these big gold buttons. So
cool.
Super cheesy, very Depop vintage. I'm not even on Depop, but this would be something that would sell really well because it's a stylized outfit type of thing. Picture this with some high-waisted, skinny, rolled-up jeans. That's what the chicks are wearing these days. And this will probably sell again in the neighborhood of the $40 to $50 range.
I'm totally gonna try that on.
Yep, sure. And let's see. And the last thing that I picked up, this is very 80s. This is 80s does, kind of like an 80s does 30s. This is a Scott McClintock, like Jessica McClintock, but Scott McClintock. I think if they're brother and sister or cousins or something, who the hell knows. This is it has shoulder pads. It has the sweetheart neckline. And then it has these super tight drop waist with the accordion pleats. So
nice.
this was like a picture like middle-aged woman's second wedding dress in the 80s. That's
awfully specific.
That's kind of what it is. It's off-white, so it's not something you would wear for prom or something like that. But made in Hong Kong, vintage size 10, which means it's like a vintage, like small, maybe close to a medium, maybe. Probably medium. But yeah, this was $9, and this is probably like a $75 dress.
Fancy.
And that's it.
That's everything.
Not everything. That's everything I'm going to show you today.
Yeah, you can kind of see in the background over here the piles of Vikki's stuff. But we're not done. We're going to be doing some more thrifting later tonight and a little bit on the way home tomorrow. But that's everything we have to show you guys today. We're going to wrap it up. Mm-hmm. Thank you so much.
Jay, the reseller, what size is that? What thing are you looking for, honey? What size on what thing?
Wow. I don't know. Anyway, if you're interested in anything that we showed, you can always our contact info is down below. I think my email address is down below, and then also our Instagrams. We both answer messages through our Instagram. So if there is something that you're interested, you can always message us there. But thank you guys for coming and hanging out with us
on your Sunday afternoon, early evening.
Yep. We appreciate it. Our work is not done here. And then tomorrow we got to hightail it back home to Vegas. So we got a lot of driving ahead of us.
Monday morning, driving back home so we can get all of our shipping done when we get home and get it to the post office before 9 p.m. tomorrow.
We'll see if we can do that. Ooh, it'll be close.
It'll be close.
Anyway, guys, thank you so much. We appreciate it. We always have fun with you guys. And we will see you next Sunday on the show. That's about it.
From home.
Yeah, from home.
Back to your regular scheduled programming next week.
Yeah, something like that.
Better lighting, 2
Yeah.
screens, the whole deal.
Yeah, maybe we can get Teresa to dial in so that she can do some packing while we're doing it, so we can really
With the loud tape gun. Good.
All right, guys. We'll see you later. Bye.
Bye.